Part 2 of Captain Underpants and the Attack of the Talking Toilets by Dav Pilkey. And if you want to start Part 1, there's a link in the description. Early that evening, George and Harold sneaked back to school with their supplies. They crept into the gymnasium and peeked around. "Oh, I think somebody's still in here," whispered Harold. "Oh, it's just Melvin Sneedly," said George. Melvin was the school brainiac. He was busy putting some last-minute touches on his new invention for the contest. "We should wait here until he leaves," whispered Harold. No way," said George. "He could be here all night. Let's just go over and talk to him." When Melvin saw George and Harold approaching, he was not happy. "Oh no," he said. "I'll bet you guys are here to mess with everybody's inventions." Nice guess," said George. "Listen, we promise not to mess with your invention if you promise not to tell anybody that you saw us here tonight." Melvin looked lovingly at his invention and reluctantly agreed. "I promise," he said. "Great," said George. "Say, what is that invention of yours anyways? It just looks like a photocopy machine." "Well, it used to be a photocopy machine," said Melvin, "but I've made some major adjustments to it. Now it is an invention that will revolutionize the world. I call it the Patsy 2000. "It'll revolutionize the world and you named it Patsy?" asked Harold. Yes," said Melvin. "Patsy is an acronym for photoatomic transmogulating ectophentributonic zanziptomizer." "I'm sorry I asked," said Harold. "Allow me to demonstrate," said Melvin. "The Patsy 2000 can take any two-dimensional image and create a living, breathing, three-dimensional copy of that image. For example, take this ordinary photograph of a mouse." Melvin placed the photo of the mouse into the glass screen of the Patsy 2000 and pressed start. The lights in the gymnasium dimmed as all the power in the entire school seemed to get sucked into the Patsy 2000. Soon, the machine began to vibrate and hum loudly, and tiny bolts of static electricity snapped out from underneath. "I hope that thing doesn't explode," said Harold. "Oh, this is nothing," said Melvin. "You should see how the Patsy 2000 reacted when I copied a poodle." Finally, after a series of flashes and loud zaps, everything stopped. A small ding was heard. Then a tiny mouse crawled out the side door of the Patsy 2000 and onto the floor. "Wonderful! Isn't it wonderful?" exclaimed Melvin. George inspected the mouse closely. "Oh, that's a great trick," George laughed. "You really had me going for a while." "What? It's not a trick," cried Melvin. "The Patsy 2000 really does bring photos to life. I've even created living creatures from paintings and drawings." "Yeah, right," laughed Harold. "And I thought we were con artists. Goodness." George and Harold walked away chuckling. It was time to move on to bigger and better things. Chapter 5, Bigger and Better Things. George and Harold went to the other end of the gymnasium, opened their backpacks, and began to work. George busied himself by turning all the spray nozzles on the automatic dog washer around, while Harold filled up the soap tank with Indian ink. And this is the automatic dog washer, the ping-pong servo-matic. Then they moved on to the volcano detector. Will you please pass me the big bag of butterscotch pudding and a Phillips head screwdriver?" asked Harold. "Sure," said George, as he carefully inserted eggs into the electric ping-pong ball server. Chapter 6. The Invention Convention. The following day started out sunny and cheerful. The students and faculty filed into the gymnasium and checked the seats very carefully before sitting down. "Greetings," Mr. Krupp, who was standing up at the microphone, said Mr. Krupp, who was standing up at the microphone. "You don't need to worry about sticky seats today," he said. "I've taken measures to ensure that this invention convention won't be a disaster like last year's." Everyone settled in as Madison Mancini, a third grader, stepped on stage to demonstrate her automatic dog washer. First," said Madison, "you put your dog in the tub. Then you press this button." Madison pressed the start button. At first, nothing happened. Then, suddenly, a spurt of inky black water sprayed up and out over the crowd. Everyone except the dog got soaked as Madison tried desperately to turn off the sprayers. I can't stop it," she cried. "Someone turned all the nozzles around." "Now, who could have done that?" asked Mr. Krupp. Next up was Donnie Schumeyer with his electric ping-pong ball server. He turned the machine on, and immediately it began hurling extra-large grade A eggs into the crowd. Foop, 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 foop went the machine. Splat, 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 splat went the eggs. "Oh, I can't turn the machine off," cried Donnie. "Somebody jammed a paperclip into the controller." "Now, who could have done that?" asked Mrs. Now, who could have done that? asked Miss Ribble. Freddie Moore's volcano detector was also a big flop. When Freddie connected the circuits to the 9-volt battery, a large spring, which had been crammed into the center of his miniature volcano, launched a giant plastic bag of butterscotch pudding high into the crowd. It landed somewhere between the third and fourth row. Splat! "Hi!" whined Freddie. "Somebody put pudding in my volcano." "Oh, now who could have done that?" asked Mr. Meaner. The rest of the day went on much the same way, with people shouting everything from, "Hey, who put oatmeal in my solar-powered leaf blower?" to, "Hey, who let all the mice out of my treadmill dune buggy?" It wasn't long before everyone fled the gymnasium, and the second annual invention convention had to be called off. "Ugh, how could this have happened?" cried Mr. Krupp as he wiped chocolate syrup, pencil shavings, and cream of mushroom soup off his face and shirt. "George and Harold have been in study hall all day long. I put them there myself."
Excuse me, Mr. Krupp," said Melvin Snedley. "I think I have an answer to your question."
Chapter 7, Busted. And this is the last one. Went the door to the study hall room. Mr. Krupp stomped in like a crazy person. George and Harold had never seen him this upset before. "You boys are in so much trouble," Mr. Krupp shouted. "I'm putting you two on permanent detention for the rest of the school year." Wait a second, cried George. "You can't prove anything."
"Yeah," said Harold. "We've been here all day."
Mr. Krupp smiled devilishly, and looked toward the door. "Oh, Melvin," he called. Melvin Snedley stepped into the room covered in mustard, eggshells, and shredded coconut.
Yeah, they did it," Melvin said, pointing at George and Harold. I saw them last night in the gym.
Melvin, cried George, horrified. You promised.
I changed my mind, Melvin said, grinning smugly. Have fun in a detention.
Chapter 8, The Invention Convention, Detention. And we will read that next time. All right. Good night. I love you.